Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome aboard, mateys. Welcome, Daily Theologians. The question of piracy is what's at stake here. So I did a little research on Docent. They're a research group, and Ed Litton and others have kind of been pulled into what is kind of a scandal. Stay tuned for this. So right out of the gate, we know that it's wrong to take things and not properly acknowledge those sources. Some of the people making arguments saying, hey, you reference a study guide or study notes and things like that and don't reference it, that I don't think that's a valid argument, because I think most pastors do reference if it's not an original thought or something of that nature, where you're just taking a whole section or chunk of somebody's quote or book or sermon. But let's check out, first of all, who is the Docent Group? So here's what I found from their website. Docent Research Group exists to equip pastors and executive pastors of large churches with the tools and resources they need to minister in their unique context. By using a team of researchers with graduate-level degrees or working on them, we provide clients with a wide variety of services. We do everything from demographic research to help plan for a new campus launch, church plant, sermon series preparation, and planning. We help churches craft position papers to articulate beliefs, and we write custom curriculum for small groups, Bible studies, and Christian education programs. If you need it, we can do it. So they've got a can-do attitude. But the question is that can-do more like this pirate ship? Is it piracy to hire someone to do all those things? I think in some of these cases, no, it would not be. Research, demographics, position papers, things of that nature would not be piracy at all, because that's actually what a research company does. I think where this becomes a bit more clear-cut piracy, if you will, is when that transitions into actually providing a sermon or a sermon series. Even the outline, that seems like the pastor's job, indwelt by the Holy Spirit, is to do the work of feeding his sheep. And that's one of his jobs. The pastor really has two primary purposes. One, to feed the sheep, and two, to protect and equip the sheep. And when you're farming that out to somebody else at a research company, that does not seem, at least from my perspective, now I'm not 100% on this, but I don't think that seems right. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. I get the value of kind of using different resources to speed up the process. I think there may be some wisdom in there, but I also think there's this blatant, glaring kind of stealing that's happening through this process. At least that's how it's perceived. And I can see why people would be upset by this. I mean, it seems like a betrayal of trust and character. And I think that's really the core issue. It seems like they're taking shortcuts. Let's read a little bit more from Docent. I think there's some interesting points they make here. They say how we do it. They say we carefully pair graduate level researchers with our clients based on theological compatibility. So it sounds like they hire or outsource people based on their background and Christian background, of their theological background, which again, that's kind of interesting. They don't seem to have real conviction there, which seems like they're just in it for the money here, which is strange. What resources would enrich their ministry? And then this is the one I really want you to look at. Why? Why? The why are they doing it? This is the core issue. Why would you hire Docent Research Group? Well, they say there isn't enough time in the day for pastors to do all the things they need to do. Now, on its face right there, I've got to turn into Al Mohler and say, is that really true? And the answer, of course, is no, because if you're not doing what you need to do, then you're putting in things there that don't belong. There's enough time to do what God has asked you to do, which is preach and equip your church. This is why the multi-site, multi-campus thing has real issues. He says the modern pastor is an administrator, organizer, and strategic planner. Where is that in the Bible? I'm curious if that's in there. Second hesitations, quoting Matt Slick, maybe. But many pastors weren't trained to do these things in seminary or didn't get into pastoral ministry for these reasons. We leverage our researchers to maximize our clients' time and help them focus on things they are called to do. And to that, I would say yes, which is to prepare the sermons and to equip their people. And if there isn't enough time for that, they need to break out into smaller churches with head pastors and maybe stop the multi-site model. I think this is a big problem. But to say there's not enough time to do what they need to do, it's basically, in a sense, saying that God has given them more than they can handle. They're not able to do what he has called them to do. And yet, if you look at the Bible, people are able to carry this out through persecution, imprisonments, and all these other things are able to do these things. So why can't these current pastors? Well, that is not my call to make. I don't understand their position on this. I really don't. I'm trying to understand the value. I can see the value of streamlining some of these things and using help to reach more people with the gospel. I'm for that. But I think when you do it in a way that is not transparent and not authentic or disingenuous or deceitful, perhaps even, I think that's why people are rightly upset over this issue. And I think there needs to be more focus on this so that it comes to light, like what's going on here, because they're dragging the gospel through the mud right now in the secular papers for plagiarism, and I've seen it in different places. So this is the second video I've done on this, but again, not casting stones at them, but I do not seem to understand why you would do this as a pastor, and I've researched a little bit into their why and how, so let me know what you think. Ultimately, we have to rest in the death, burial, and resurrection of the God-man Jesus Christ, and it's also helpful if you don't forget to hammer that like button, like the 95 Theses, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, because again, on this video, trying to be gracious and kind on this, I get some of the value, but I think perhaps the way it has been done, not above board. Let me know what you think. Thank you, and go